This is Family Time 140. We're talking about communication and situation. This falls under our relationship skills, social emotional learning strategy. And the central question I want you considering this week is, do your communication styles and strategies change based on the setting and the people involved? They probably do, at least a little bit, and that's not a bad thing. To some extent, it's a skill. It's a skill worth developing. It ties in with reading the room, which is something we've talked about. And I'm always sort of blown away by people who struggle to read the room, who maybe say something that's not appropriate for the setting, or even just maybe drone on in a certain situation and the other people engaged in the conversation are almost held hostage. They're not really interested in what messages are being sent out. The delivery is not really taking place. They're not really receiving the message. And sometimes people struggle to pick up on that. I'm sure I've been guilty of that on many different occasions. But I try to be aware of those things, even in a classroom setting. I know sometimes I may be talking about things that you're not all entirely interested in, but I think it's important. But I try to make a point to recognize when I'm losing engagement. And I have to change things up. I maybe have to go on a tangent and tell stories. Those of you who have me in class know that happens a lot because I'm trying to get some form of engagement, even if it is seemingly off topic, and then we can wander back to where we want to go. And I try to be authentic, and that's just sort of how my mind works and how I talk. And therein, I think, lies the important balance with communication. We do have to adapt to different situations. You probably talk differently to your best friend than you do to your mom or your grandma or whomever. And that's good. You should have certain people in your life that you feel a little more comfortable expressing different things to, sharing different things with. You should probably speak differently in a job interview than you do to someone that you've worked with for 10 years. Not to say that both in a work environment shouldn't be professional, but they're going to be a little different. The reality is our communication should change based on the setting, based on the people around us. But I really believe the closer we can get our communication in all settings to who we really are, getting that communication to be an authentic representation of ourselves, of what we believe, what we value, and just who we are personality-wise, the easier things get. Then we just have to decide maybe what information we want to share or what the people in that particular environment are interested in, what messages need to be relayed to them. And we don't need to change who we are. And that's the danger I see a lot of times in school, where we have a desire to fit in, to have a sense of belonging. But anytime we have to change who we are, where we feel the need to hide our authentic selves, that's not a good thing. So we need to find ways to adapt to different situations and different people, but still be true to ourselves. And I think that makes for strong communication. where people can have very different deliveries, different storytelling structures, different energies, and still be very effective communicators. I think that authenticity always shows through, and I think all of us are drawn to authenticity. There's something about it we feel, we pick up on it subconsciously. I know I genuinely like being around people who I think are authentic, who I think are being themselves. And that comes through in the way that we communicate too. That's all I want you to think about is how does your communication style or some of the things you maybe convey in your communication, how do they change in different settings and around different people? And then I want you to think about how you can stay true to yourself and authentic with your message and authentic in your representation of yourself across all settings, no matter what adjustments you have to make. Until next time, much love.